Oh, you can hear me. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. You can see my screen too, I assume. Let's get started. Welcome to This is Your Last Year Chasing Breadcrumbs. I'm going to teach you the three future self shifts to own your life and business that you really want in 2026. And I'm Gail Keys Allen, as you all know. Just a brief bio. I moved over to Substack in February of this year. And then in May, I had a viral post and a viral note and went, I got 922 subscribers that month. So that was kind of crazy and amazing and a blessing and all the things. But I'm a writer who coaches and a coach who writes. And I decided that I wanted to just operate my business in a totally different way than the traditional coaching. And so I moved to Substack after the realization that I'm meant to serve, but my people won't find me just on Instagram or TikTok, so that's why I moved over. And I write the truth, which most of you probably have read my stuff. I make women laugh, cry, and feel seen, and then I coach them to not only tell their own stories with power and clarity, but also to step into their biggest dreams and desires. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, stepping into your biggest dreams and desires. And my mission is really simple to help women over 50 transform their self-concept. And I do have clients. I have a 30-year-old client. I work with all different ages, but most of the people that I work with are over 50. But I help you monetize your wisdom and finally stop shrinking in the rooms that you were meant to show up as a boss in. So tonight's agenda, we're going to talk about the breadcrumbs versus the whole loaf life. And I love analogies, and I just came up with this one like, stop settling for just enough. And then we're going to go into the three future self shifts, some stories and examples, and then I'm going to invite you to schedule a consult because that's where you really start your transformation. And we'll talk about that later. And then after that, we're going to do some reflection and Q&A. So I don't know how many of you have a breadcrumb life, and maybe you could put it in the comments like, have you been settling for breadcrumbs? Settling for just enough, or it's okay. You've been on that job longer than you ever thought you would be there or really want to be there. You've been in that relationship, situation, whatever it is, and you're tired of settling. So the breadcrumb life is the act of settling for just enough to keep you safe and comfortable, but not enough to make you feel alive. It's a life built on past evidence because what happens is most of us look to the past to see what our future is going to be. We believe that the past dictates the future, but it really does not. Um, and so it's a life built on past evidence, societal expectations for your age, and the fear that if you ask for more, you might lose the little bit you already have, which we don't want that. I see Tracy said done settling for breadcrumbs. Yes, yes. So here's some breadcrumb examples. The good enough career, and I took this from my own experience. I stayed in a job. When I left there, I made 105,000, but I started there at 55. Um, but you stay in a 100K role because it's secure. You think you're too old to pivot, even though you know you have $300,000 plus value to give the world. And that's what I did. I kept saying, I can't justify leaving. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Who's going to pay me? Like, I kept thinking I had to find another job. And then I worked as an accountant, and I kept thinking, um, I'm not a CPA. I don't have an MBA, and all the jobs I was looking at paid way less than what I was making, but required way more as far as certifications and experience. And I felt really trapped, and I stayed there for 16 years. So that was good enough. Um, People also settle for age-appropriate bodies. They accept low energy or the fact that your body's getting softer and that that's just part of getting older instead of realizing you can have abs at any age. You can have muscles at any age. You can run at almost any age. There are seniors that run. I mean, you can do whatever you want at any age as long as you stay healthy. Another breadcrumb example is the permission trap. You're waiting for your boss, your partner, your kids, someone else to tell you it's your turn. It's your turn to spend money on yourself or spend time on your own expansion. A lot of women will invest in everyone else but themselves. And then the fourth example is the efficiency loop, like trying to 3x your income by working 3x hours, like three times harder, thinking that most people don't try to 3x their income. It's like a big dream. I wish I could win the lottery. I could be rich. I would love to win the lottery, but they don't think that they could do it. Um, and so the 3X thing, I heard a woman the other day on TikTok say she has four jobs. She said she made I don't know, I think 380,000, but that she has four jobs. Who wants to work four jobs? That leads to burnout because your brain can't see the other paths that aren't, one job, another job, another job. They just see, what society is saying. So the breadcrumb life equals the logical life. And logic is your enemy. It's your enemy. Your brain uses past evidence, which I mentioned, to predict your future. And your past really has nothing to do with your future. And you're telling yourself if you haven't done it before, your brain says it's impossible. And I hear people all the time say to me, I never did that before. Okay, that doesn't mean you can't do it. You have to start somewhere. So let's talk about the whole loaf life. You see, it looks a lot different than the breadcrumbs. We want a whole life, an expansive life, a full life. We don't want bits and pieces of our life thrown together and it's just not working. Let's see what you guys are saying. I had multiple jobs from the age of 19 to 31. I had elderly parents to take care of, no children. Wow, that's a lot, Dondi. Um, yes, society does pay teachers peanuts. So let's talk about the whole loaf life. The whole loaf life is the future self. It's your future self. It's the reality where you follow your desires and intentions, where you allow yourself to dream. You don't look to your past and your history as evidence. You decide what your future is going to bring. And you stay in a state of grateful expectancy, which means you're always grateful and you're always expecting things to work out for you. Doesn't that sound amazing? It's where you claim the wealth, health, and impact you want because you've decided you are in charge of your own life. So I'm going to give you some whole loaf examples, and then we're going to talk about shifting through these scenarios. So the way to live the whole life is to take an identity leap, which means that you don't look to your past and who you were in the past as evidence. It means you decide to jump into the identity that you desire. So in the example from the breadcrumbs, it's deciding you're a 300K plus CEO today. And you might not want to be a CEO. You might want to, I don't know, write books and speak. I mean, people have so many different dreams. I have a client that's an artist. People do all kinds of things outside of the box, outside of the norm. And you would decide as the 300K CEO or as the person that makes a lot of money, that doubles or triples their salary. Um, you make the decisions from the future rather than the past, your past resume. And I told you I used to do that. I would look at my resume and say, I can't make more money because no one's going to pay me more with this resume or with this experience. You believe you can have radical vitality, that you treat your health as an asset and you are the asset, and that the asset compounds, and you decide that in your 50s, 60s, and beyond, they'll be your most athletic and vibrant decades. I believe in moving and taking care of yourself. Um, and then another example is the information hygiene. You have a standard. And it means aggressively protecting your peace by saying no. And not just no, I have here to the 10K breadcrumb opportunities to keep your schedule open for the 50K whole life opportunity. But it's really not about that. Um, Protecting your peace is not believing everything you hear on the news. Protecting your peace is deciding that no matter what is going on with the economy, you are going to live your best life possible. Protecting your peace is saying, no, don't call me with that nonsense. I'm not talking about it today. I'm not going to have a pity party or trauma bond with you today. And the next example is you take quantum action. You take bold, illogical steps, and we are not taught to do this. Most people's brains don't even think in terms of anything bold and illogical. Um, you quit the stable job, excuse me, which is what I did, and my family was not happy. They thought I was crazy. You launched the new brand. Excuse me. I'm coming off of a virus. You launched the new brand because your future self has already seen the success ahead of time. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Um, Good, Janet. I'm glad you don't watch or read the news. It just will mess you up. Um, I just upped my resume and got a new fun job that will support my business because I love that, Becca. That's amazing. So there's an equation for the whole loaf life, and that's a mouthful. And it starts with desire. You have to get clear about what it is you want. What do you desire? And then once you know what you desire, you have to set an intention, and the intention will lead you. And then we're going to add some delusional actions because we're not here to be logical. And that equals the whole loaf. And I'm a very logical person. I was an accountant for many years. So I think in terms of equations, and it just keeps, a lot of the stuff people used to say was woo-woo, but it really is neuroscience that when you step into a desire, the desire will lead you if you allow it. So the three shifts that we're going to talk about are simple yet complicated. And that's you've got to change the way you're thinking, you've got to change the way you're feeling, your energy, and you've got to take those delusional actions. So I have created, and I've been teaching this for a couple years, um, paradigm shift. This first box is, well, when they say you're in the box, get out the box. We're all in a box, some kind of box. And the box we're in is our current thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's the breadcrumb life. It's where we have been there, we're used to being there. It feels cozy and comfortable. And it's like a winter night where you don't want to go out in the cold to leave the box. But once you decide that you make the decision to change your life, that means stepping out of the box. This middle one is pretty much like the testing ground, where you start stepping out the box and now you have a way out and you start playing with the different thoughts, feelings, and actions. And then the last one is you're stepping into your future self. And we'll talk about this on one of the other slides. So, inside the box, which is all of our current paradigm, because we all have desires of, none of us ever reach the ultimate until the day we leave this earth. We are always going to have desires unless you just give up on life. So we're all start out in the box. But what keeps us in the box is something called the success plateau, where you believe that you've reached the highest heights. You've acquired all the things that society says you should have, and you get there and you're just looking at yourself like, okay, what now? Like, what's happening? I'm here, but I don't feel fulfilled. And I'll explain it on another slide, but also what keeps you there in the box is the called possibility blindness. And what it means is you can't see what's possible because you haven't been looking for the possibilities. So when you get to when we talk about the success plateau, it's like the glass ceiling. And good enough is the glass ceiling. Good enough is the enemy. You see this woman pushing on the glass. It's like she's in the box. She's looking out. There's a whole big world outside, but she can't get out there. And she doesn't even actually in the box, you don't necessarily think you can get out of there. Now, when it comes to the possibility blindness, you can't see the possibility. And last week, no, it was this week actually. I think it was Monday. I'm getting my days mixed up. I think it was Monday. I went live on Substack and I was talking about the fact that I tripled my corporate salary after I left, the first year after I left my job. And there were probably 30, 35 people on the call. And so this is kind of like representing the people on the call. They're listening to me speak. And then I said, tell me how you would 3x your income. And it was silence, no comments, just silence. And I said again, come on, use your imagination. How would you triple your income? And no one had an answer. Why? Because you're not dreaming big enough. And I bet you here on this call, you don't have the answer. How would you triple it? How would you triple any result? Because this isn't just about money. This is about thinking bigger than you've ever thought. It's about 3xing your results in any area of your life. But literally, no one could say, no one had any idea, which I didn't tell them because it's not up to me to tell you. It's up to you to step into the belief that it's possible. Because once you step into the belief, the path presents itself. And so that that second box is the transitional paradigm where you start to think differently and you start to say to yourself, maybe it is possible I can quit the job. And then you feel a bit excited, like hopeful, and you start just hoping, kind of wishing, dreaming that the answers are going to come so you can start stepping out, moving towards your new life. And again, it's not just money, not just job. It could be weight loss. It could be running a marathon. There's so many things. I want you to fill in the blank. But once you start thinking that it's possible and feeling hopeful, then the actions start to present themselves to you. But if you tell yourself, I can't do that, I never did that, I don't know how to do that, you're going to go right back into the first example of just the box with no door, no way out, because you've rejected your way out. You've rejected any opportunity to get out. And then the next one is the future self paradigm. This is where you want to get to. And when I say don't end the year without these shifts, you have to know how you're currently thinking, feeling, and acting, or your habits, in order to start shifting through these different levels. And so, this opening, I think of like a garage door where your life becomes wide open. You're living that future that you've been dreaming, or you're starting to see little glimpses of it, but there's a sense of freedom because your thoughts are freeing and you're telling yourself, I got this. What's my next big thing? And you start having, this bucket list that you don't just look at and it collects dust, but a bucket list that you are like checking things off, checking things off. And then you're excited. You start to feel excited about yourself, proud of yourself, excited about life. And when you feel that excitement, then you start to take different actions and you keep taking different actions. And that's really how you create something different for your life. So, this is one of my clients, past clients. Her name is Heather. And this is her delusional story because I say when we think big, way outside the box, that is delusional. When we do things that other people tell us we can't do or they don't think is possible. And Heather decided, well, we were working together for a while, and she kept saying it's so funny. She wanted to move to France, but she has a corporate, well, she had a corporate job, and she worked from home, and she didn't know if she would be able to leave the country. So she decided to move to Hawaii from Oregon. And, and I put here, she moved from Oregon to Hawaii in 3 months after deciding. She did not know how. She didn't know. All I said to her was, the next call, stop saying you don't know. Come to the next call with a decision as far as where you're moving. And she came to the call and said, it's Hawaii. I'm moving. And she sold her house, like packed up everything and shipped it um, to Hawaii. And that's a lot. So I just put these thoughts here like expect miracles to drop out the sky. She did not know how. She had no idea. But once she made the decision, the answers started coming. Um, when you stop overthinking and get clear and trust your gut, paradise will call you. But if you're again, if you're saying, I don't know how I can do that, I don't have the money, I can't, what about this and what about that? No, you decide and the way reveals itself. And then these are pictures of me living my delusional life. Um, I never thought, like when I was on that job all those years, I never imagined that instead of being at work, I would be traveling the world. Like it never, I didn't conceive of it at all. So I'm here, I'm in London, I went to Paris, I was in Phoenix, and I got my certification. These are some coaches that I met. Was in New York, went to see Hamilton. In fact, that was gifted to me by one of my coaches. And this picture here, I have a fun story. This is one of my old clients. She lives in California, and she had not been to New York City before. And so we were on our coaching call once and she said, I'm going to New York and I just see myself walking down Fifth Avenue. I can just imagine it. And I said, we're going to walk down Fifth Avenue together. And probably a year went by because we worked together for quite a while. She actually is a court stenographer and made something called a beauty binder. I mean, she found places in China to have make it. She made her dream come true when we were working together. Um, and she produced this product, like I said, in China and had so many of them shipped and invested in that business and changed her life. So one day she said to me, guess what? My girlfriend found some really cheap tickets to New York. And I said, oh, that is so cool. I know you said you wanted to go to New York. When are you going to be there? And let's just say it was September. I can't exactly remember, but you see how we're dressed, like it's not super cold. So she said September, and I said, I'm going to be in New York in September. And so then she's like, well, when? And I told her the date. Well, she was coming the day that I was leaving. So I extended my stay, and that is us. Because with coaching, you're on Zoom. I coach people all over the world. So we had never met in person before, and we got to meet in person in New York. We didn't walk down Fifth Avenue together, but we did walk around the city and have breakfast and had a blast. I I sitting at that desk, and all of you, I really want you to think about it. Whatever your situation is now, there's a whole nother world waiting for you when you say yes to yourself. And you can't see it, you just have to believe it's possible. So these are some other delusional experiences that I have had. This first one, this woman here, her name is Kathy Heller. I was in a course that she did a couple years ago called Made to Do This. And it was to help you figure out what you wanted to do in the next phase of your life. Just like I'm here helping you figure that out. Um, that's what she was helping us do. And this was in March of 20, right when right when we went on lockdown for the pandemic. Uh, so I got in there. Let me check the comments because I see there's a bunch of them. Um, does this mean you can't see anything? Somebody said, is there a slideshow? Are y'all seeing my slides? Oh, somebody said the photo on the right's adorable. So yes. Is it Kai K? I don't know why you can't see it. Oh, you got it. Okay. Um, so I was on in Kathy's class. And she did each week, she coached someone different. They called it a hot seat. And I got chosen for a hot seat. And she started coaching me. And she said to me, you seem like you've gone through a lot. Like there's something special about you and your energy. And it just feels like you've been through a lot. And when I say, her saying that, I call it diarrhea of the mouth. I just started saying to her, oh my God, I lost my hearing last year, and my brother died of terminal brain cancer, and my mother died, she was paralyzed. Like, I just started telling her, like, all these things that had happened. And she just said, you are amazing, and great things are going to happen for you. So that was March. The next year, let's see, that was March. The next year, I quit my job, and then the in 2022, she asked me to she wanted to interview me as part of her marketing. So it wasn't that this is a podcast, but it was part of her marketing, and she was bringing prior students in as examples of what was possible in her container. And I'll never forget, it was January 31st, 2022, I think. and she's interviewing me, and I said, "Oh," and this is on YouTube. You could look it up. But I said, "Oh, Kathy, I meant to tell you, I made $50,000 in 10 days." Like, I still can't believe it. It's just was wild. And she was just like, "Oh my God, is what is tomorrow?" And she said, "Is tomorrow February 1st?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "Black History Month?" Yeah, because I didn't know why she was asking me that. The next morning, one of my friends called me, or no, text me and said, "You're on Kathy's podcast." And she has a big name podcast. I mean, actors, Deepak Chopra and all, Tony Robbins. In fact, I ended up being on one of her best of episodes with all these famous people on the cover with me. It was crazy. Um, so that's a delusional experience, y'all. And then that same year is when I tripled my corporate salary. Nobody tells you you can do these things. My coach that I got certified by, Brooke Castillo at the Life Coach School, told me I could do it. She coached me around my age, and I was having a lot of mind drama about making a lot of money at my age. And I said to her, I could kind of think maybe I could get to 1 million a year. And she said, 1 million? What about 10 million in 10 years? And I was just like, what? So she coached me on making $10 million in 10 years. And then the crazy thing, when you get coached, like in her program, there's hundreds of people either on the call or see the replay. Just from me getting coached by her, I got 2 clients because people could see how big I think, how I'm a risk taker and really go for my dreams. And I was not always like that. Um, let's see. Becca says, I was on a hot seat and featured in February 20. Oh, I didn't know that. I wish I had made 50K in 10 days. I simply published. That's an amazing thing to publish a book, though. So I'm going to ask you to step into the future with me because I declare that that was me before COVID. Like a year, I was 62. So that was me at 62. And I had worked hella hard to get there. And then I lost my hearing in one ear. I had vertigo severely, could barely walk for 4 months. Then we went through COVID. It was just like a shit show, like a whole bunch of stuff happened, and I've gained weight and don't have those same. I mean, the abs are underneath, but I've got plenty of fat around my abs now. So my goal is to get my abs back in my 70s. And I'm really hoping to get somewhere close to that in the next 5 months. My birthday is in May. So my plan is to um, take a photo like this, but with a photographer, like in athletic wear at 70 years old, y'all. I can't even believe I'm damn near 70. It's wild. Um, and then I'm reading this book. I've decided to live 120 years. This is not about living 120 years. This is about deciding to live 120 years. Do you get it? Like, put in the comments, do you get what I mean when I say that and why I say that? Because, of course, I can't control what the future brings. No, none of us can. But I can dream. Let's see. Love Kathy, how I found Gail. Dang, I need to work on my abs. I get it. Yes, yes. Gail, my birthday is May also. Yay. I didn't know that, Flora. Um, May 5th is me. Dondi turned 60 last week. Happy birthday. I'm like, damn, I'm 60? It's not bad at all. Damn near 70 isn't bad. And so I'm reading this book and learning the longevity secrets. And along with this, I'm working with a nutritionist. I am going for regular acupuncture. I'm working on me from the inside out. It's not just about the abs. It is about belief. It is about thinking bigger. It is about having energy. It is about living longer, right? It's not really about the abs, even though I'm going to get the abs again, but it's so much bigger. So now what I want to do is have you step into your future. Let's see, a believer's mindset. Yes, totally. Um, I want you to close your eyes. Seriously, I want you to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Look, see yourself standing or sitting right where you are, but it's a year from now. It's December 31st, 2026. What's the one thing you stopped doing? You stopped doing to enhance your life. Write it down. And the one person you stop trying to please to get that whole loaf results. And while we're at it, I would love for you to really step into who do you want to be in a year? How do you want to end the year next year? How do you want to end the year this year? We've got a little less than 2 weeks. How do you want to end the year? You have to be intentional. You have to dream. If you don't, you will repeat the same year again next year, and the year after, and the year after. So, what is your next step? I want to invite you to schedule a complimentary, and I'm calling it 3X Accelerator consultation. And I have a coaching practice, as most of you probably know. It's very high touch, it's individual, it's based on you as a person. We look at where you are and where you want to go. And if you don't know where you want to go, I will help you figure out at least one area of your life that you want to work on. And we don't do average here. And we don't do realistic. We do custom 3X results. And that just means I tailor it to you and we think big. I say it's the land of delusion. Like I live in the big dreams. I live in the delusion. You do not need another program. You do not need another strategy. What you need is an identity shift. And let me stop sharing. Um, I'm trying. Oh, there we go. There we go, y'all. How was everybody? Hi, Tracy. I would love to coach a couple people if you want to be coached, if you have any questions. This is your opportunity because it's not typical to be in this kind of environment and to have this kind of information. And I really want to be of service. And so if you want to ask a question or you feel like maybe you know what you want to do, but you don't know how to get there, or you don't know what you want to do and you kind of want to talk about some ideas and anything, or you're stuck and you want to get unstuck. Anybody? Flora?
Hey, I'm game. I'll jump in. Um, my situation is the things you shared, I've done before. I have
Okay.
manifested so many miracles in my life, and I was going along great until health challenges came along and kind of threw me off base because I've never been afraid of going after what I wanted. I never had any big monetary goals, but I had, all kinds of things that I followed, the traveling around the world and the things I wanted to do. Now I'm at the point of getting back to that because I know it's possible. And when you talk about the what you have to decide you want and go for it,
Hmm.
I've done that several times. So now I'm trying to get back to that and bigger because
Right.
I never had big financial goals because I each one I reached, I became a teacher, I parent everything I enjoyed and to the max. But I never set financial goals like $1 million, a millionaire, and
Do you know why?
capable. Probably I'm a combination of upbringing and also because I was very satisfied with the kind of life I created. Like being a teacher, I love teaching. Part
Hmm.
of the problem with loving something is you end up doing it for free many times.
Right.
You love
Right.
doing it. If you ask me in the grocery store how to find something, I'll help you, and I don't even work in that grocery store. So, uh, so that's a real barrier when you
Mm.
don't allow yourself to charge what you're worth.
Right.
And I'm 81, so I was born in the 40s when you were,
Can y'all believe Flora's 81?
and I'm
Look at
calling
Patricia's
myself a young
face.
guy.
Isn't she fly?
Huh? What'd you say?
I said you're fly, you know.
I'm trying to follow you, Gail.
Uh-uh.
So, yeah, I was born in an era when that was, not the thing.
Right.
And being satisfied with your career and getting an education, or even thinking you need an education to do what you want, was the thing.
Right.
And of
Right.
course, we know now you do not have to have a degree or any particular degree if you make up your mind what you want to do and you follow that dream. So I
Totally.
know that what everything you're sharing works. Now I've got to make it work again. Because the problem with
Mm.
manifestation is that you have to do it over and over again. You can't
Right.
just do it once and say, "Whoa, I got that goal." And
Totally.
miracles are out there. It's just that you have to really, really visualize it. And everything I have, my degree, my children, my house I live in, I wanted those things and I visualized them and they manifested. And also they manifest in ways you can't imagine. You can't give God any kind of script and say, I
Right.
want this. You have to know what you want, but how you're going to get it, you do not know. And so
Right.
I have a
So
number of stories
Flora,
like that
I want you to tell us one big dream, big goal that you have.
right now. My big goal.
Yeah.
I want to, for once, say that I'm a millionaire because I never thought about what I'm doing in terms of money. And I've got to get beyond a millionaire now because that's no big money anymore.
Right. Right.
Um, and the biggest thing about money for me is I want freedom to do what I want to do, and I
That's
don't want to have to think about money. I
that's what
have
it's all
three
about.
children and three living children. My son passed. I have nine. I have three grandchildren and nine great grands. I
Oh,
want to be able
wow.
to go to wherever, Mexico, Europe, whatever, rent a house, buy a house, and say, "Come on over." I
Totally.
want to be able to do that, and
Now, all of y'all, Flora is an example for all of us. Actually, she works with me,
yeah.
and she's a delight. I mean,
Thank you, Gail.
it's so exciting because just like I give people hope, you give people hope too, you
Yeah.
know? And you obviously have lived a good life,
Yes.
right? Right? Um,
I have
Joanne
very
said, I
much
don't
so.
have money to at all to pay for coaching. Well, you know what? Come to the consult anyway. You will be blessed.
That's right.
You will be blessed. And you won't be saying, I don't have money. Because when you say,
Yeah.
this runs so
You
deep,
can't say
y'all.
that.
When
Yeah.
you say, I don't have money, you won't have money. You cannot trust your eyes. You cannot trust what your eyes can see. You have to believe in miracles. If you don't have miracle mindset, you will be stuck. It will make you stuck and depressed. That's why I said delusional thinking. Delusional thinking is it don't matter what you can see. Look, y'all. some of y'all know me for a long
Where's your
time.
wand?
Magic happens up in here. Magic happens up in here. You don't know what the future might bring. But when you say I'm broke, I don't have money, I'm
Mhm.
sick, right? It's like casting a spell, like a
Mhm.
negative spell.
Yeah. Could I say
Yes.
something, Gail, about that, about the spell? One of the things that people discount is detours,
Oh,
where you are going along with your life and you hit a detour and you think it's a failure,
yes.
but
Totally,
that
totally,
detour, you had to turn and go a
totally,
different way because you needed to pass your dream. And
totally,
that's why we don't want to tell God how to get us the dream. Just set
totally.
it out there. And that's happened to me each one of the times that the things I was asking for, I just asked for the thing. I didn't ask how it's going to come.
Yeah,
And
because it can come all different
all
ways.
kinds of ways. Yeah. So
Yeah,
those detours are great.
yeah. Let's talk to Dondi. Thank you, Flora.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I think Miss Flora, you probably have been very wealthy in your lifetime. I think it's just like Miss Gail is saying, it's a need to shift perspective on how
Mm.
you're defining wealth. And without bragging, like I've been wealthy since I was 8 years old. I
Okay.
realized that it isn't me. I've always lived a whole loaf life. Like my
Mm.
mother and father, like pushed me in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
The issue has been I'm the youngest of six.
Mm-hmm.
So I had five people ahead of me
Mm-hmm.
that didn't live a whole loaf life, that
Mm-hmm.
have always settled for breadcrumbs and have literally punished me because
Mm.
I would not buy into that shit.
Mm.
And they have historically done any and everything they could to just take the whole loaf and just tear it up and distribute it amongst whomever and fuck you. You don't deserve, you don't need anything. We really didn't want you. We don't even know why they had you. This is
Well,
really for us.
yeah, but you can't
And that's
even,
the thing is
yeah,
that
but you can't
you can't.
focus on that because if you focus on that, it will destroy you. You
But
know,
that's the thing is that how do you, and that's what I'm struggling with.
yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
For
You,
months. It's like, how do I divorce myself from these people completely
hmm
who
But
I
you tell,
know I'm supposed to love and care about and just let them live on breadcrumbs?
but when you
Because that's
say,
all they've ever wanted. That's
right,
all they've ever expected. They cannot
let
stand
me,
the thought that
Gandhi,
there's a loaf.
Gandhi, let me interrupt you because we can go down this negative hole and dig it deeper and deeper. And what I want to say to you is you are not required to do anything. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to spend time with them. You don't have to answer the phone. You have to set boundaries. And it doesn't matter that it's your family. I have a sister that I did not talk to for years until she almost died. And then she started getting therapy and getting help. And then she came to me and asked for forgiveness. And we healed our relationship. But you yourself cannot do anything. You cannot do anything except control your peace. Control your peace.
And I think that's another thing I'm struggling with because I'm not capable of forgiving. That's for God to do.
That no, that's not.
I'm
Schedule
just at
schedule a
pri-
consult. Let's schedule a consult
I am.
call
I
with
need
me.
one.
Yeah, schedule the call with me and we'll talk about it because you are going to end up taking yourself down a road where you don't really want to go. And I will point some things out to you and help you come up with a plan.
Put the info in the chat because
Oh,
you keep
oh, thank
saying schedule, but you won't tell
I
us how.
thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I was gonna put it in the chat. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Gail, she said, get on it. Put that information in the chat.
Yeah,
Here
stop
you
having
are.
senior
Here,
moments because you keep telling us you're young.
here you are. There is the link. Schedule it now. Because I want to talk to everybody that's on this call, whether you watch the replay or here live. I want to talk to all of you. I believe in the gifts God gave me and trusting God to order my steps, stepping in. Okay, where's Tracy? Tracy, can we talk for a second? I'm not going to put you on the spot. I just wanted to say something to you about what you said.
Sorry, I just had a lot of people come into the room right as you asked me that.
Oh, oh, okay.
So,
What I want to tell you is God is waiting for you. God is waiting for you. You said you're waiting for God to order
well,
your steps. God is already ordering your steps,
mhm.
but you haven't been doing what you haven't been obedient.
Right. And he kept telling me, not yet, not yet. Now I'm clearly getting him telling me, it's your time. It's time.
Yeah, how
So,
do I know?
so
Because you could be waiting a lifetime and
I,
talking yourself the not yet. How do you know the not yet is really God? That's a whole nother thing.
but
The not yet could be your fear.
I think part of it was that, and part of it was because I'm very spiritually connected.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm clearly getting the vision. It's your time.
Well, what are you going to do now?
Whatever you have, I've already started taking steps, putting together a business plan, looking for mentors, coaches. So I need to talk
Okay.
to
Yeah. Oh, thank you for being vulnerable.
you.
Um, I want all of you to know that there's no reason to wait for anything. I don't know what the business is, but you don't need a business plan to get started. This is where, so anybody that's
That's where I
thinking
get stuck.
you don't need a business plan, I have a plan to help you launch your business in 48 hours. That is part of the problem. People look at traditional business and think you have to follow certain rules. You do not. You do not have to have some serious business plan. You will stay stuck in that forever. You could be making money in a business in a week. There's no reason to be stuck. So everybody got the link. Schedule now. Just schedule it. Let's talk. I want to help you get unstuck. Tracy said, I'm ready. I'm ready. I did a course one time. I think Patricia was in there called She Ready. Like, let's go. Let's go. Anybody else? Patty, Patricia, who else? Janet, Joanne? Anybody have any questions?
Gail, you know my story.
I do. And you need to come see me too.
I know, I
You,
know, I do. Yeah, I just, yeah, it's like I am literally fucking exhausted right now.
oh, I'm sorry.
And I don't want to do this anymore. You already know, I've been in health
Yeah,
for over 25 years, last 11 years in leadership. And
right.
I can't, I don't have the energy anymore to babysit kids and doctors who also act like children,
Hmm.
disgruntled employees, and then to have HR said, well, you should have said it this way. You know, they can say whatever the hell they want to say to me, but I have to, you know, watch what I say.
Right. But Janet, I
Come
want to
here.
say to you, you've been procrastinating, right? So
I
it's
just feel like
it's
corporate and I'm under the
I
at the
know, I
microscope.
know, but you've got to start dreaming again. You've got to start dreaming again because you're starting to give up on your dreams, right? You got to come. Well, you already know. Reach
I
out to me.
know. I
But
will.
that's what it is. You, like all of you, I believe in taking action now. You do not want to be on a call with me next year feeling and thinking the same thing. It's like I used to always say, I don't know how many of you remember the movie Groundhog Day. It was like the same thing over and over and over, right? And I did it for 16 years. 15 of the 16 years I was on my last job, I did not want to be there. I knew I wanted to leave after the first year, and I was afraid. I mean, I was a single mom. I I didn't know. And that was 20 years, 20 some years ago now. We didn't have the options we have now. We have lots of options now. So for any of you that want to leave your job, I told you I have a plan to help you launch your business in 48 hours. And it doesn't, I mean, to work with me costs money, but I have different levels. You could hire me for one session. You could hire me for 3 months. You could hire me for 6 months. So it's not like you're locked in, but whatever you do, and you could ask, like Janet knows, Flora knows, you will make progress quickly. This stuff does not have to take a long time. Society has told us it takes a long time. I could have Janet in a whole different situation in 3 months. No, there's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. It's the truth. And I've been through hell and back. Becca said, thank you. Society tells us we should not because we are women. Yes, yes. But all of us should know better at this point. I want all of you to leave here today dreaming bigger, 3 times bigger, 10 times bigger. Seriously, like I want all of you to leave here and make a list of like all the things that in your heart you really desire, but you've been too afraid to admit it. Write it down. Bring the list to the consult. I'm not one of those like people that's going to try to hard sell you or anything. I only want to work with you if you want to work with me. I only want to work with you if you seriously want to change your life, right? Because that's my mission from God. I I know that the work I'm called to do is to help heal women so that you don't go through all the things that I went through because I didn't have the support. I went through hell. Daughters of the King. Everything's going so fast. Let's see. Anybody have any questions before we go? The more talented and capable we are, the more others will lie to us, stress us. Yes, yes, totally. Our job want us to stay because they're getting great work out of us. Yes. But I say to hell with the job. And I'm not saying be irresponsible, right? But I'm saying be grateful. And for all of you that are on jobs that you don't like, if once you step in gratitude for the job, the healing starts. And I had to get to the point, and my old coach said this, don't leave it until you love it. And I was like, huh? What? Don't leave it till I love it. I hate it here. And like it took me several months to figure out what that meant for me. And finally, what it meant for me was it was an amazing job. I was grateful to get it. I needed it at the time when I got it. Like I said, just had separated from my ex-husband. And once I got grateful for it and started loving it, then I could release it. And I started having the attitude, you know what? This is an amazing job. I've just outgrown it. I've stayed too long. So a lot of times we stay too long. We stay way too long. And then we wonder why we're miserable. Becca, I must really be preaching to you. But we stay too long. And then we get mad at other people. Becca, you want to say something?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I believe in divine timing of things because it's my job was so hard. I was so stressed out. I actually had IBS again. I had
Hmm.
horrible, horrible stomach issues with my past job, and then but I found an appreciation for it, and a love for it, and within 2 weeks I was laid off.
Hmm.
And that's when you and
Yes.
I got together, and I was very inspired, and I was like, you know what? It's not the job. Um, Other things provide for me, and that's fate.
Yes.
So whatever you
Yes.
call it, whatever people call it on this call, um, it's going to be provided for you. And I found a fun
Oh,
job that's going to support me coming home at night and having the energy and the time.
oh, so you got another job?
I did.
Oh, congratulations.
A fun job that's serving people with disabilities, adults with disabilities,
Okay.
totally out of my field, and a huge pay cut. But at the same time, it's opening the chance to do my ministry again. So
Mm.
I feel so ready to step into that. I feel excited, and I just know that everything's going to be okay.
It is. And when we know that, it is. When we claim it, it is. Right? Becca and I met a couple weeks, 3 weeks ago. I don't know. Time goes by so
It
fast.
was only about three
Uh,
weeks, yeah.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, when you stand in faith, that's how this works. That's how this works. So before we go, Patricia, you want to say anything? I haven't talked to you forever. I know, Patricia.
I know. Boy, did I need to hear this today because I was saying to myself, this year has been a real roller coaster.
Hmm.
Yes, I enjoy what I do at work, but when you begin to get high blood pressure and you have to go to the emergency room how many times time, that's not good. So
Yeah.
I pulled out some a couple of days ago I pulled out some things that I had written down. When you write things down, you can't put it aside. It has to be in front of your face so that you see it every day that these are the
Right.
things you want. So it's almost as though I forgot the desires that I had.
Mm.
And I guess God has a real big plan because 2 weeks ago, I mean, I went to bed that Tuesday night 2 weeks ago and I was fine. Wednesday morning, I could not speak.
What?
I mean, I'm like, what the heck is wrong with me? I was in the bed for like 3 days. If someone asked me what is wrong, I couldn't say what is wrong. They kept saying, well, did you go to the doctor? No, what is he going to say to me that I'm exhausted? That I've exhausted myself?
Mm.
And I thought I was better. But on the weekend, it was still lingering. Yesterday, it showed itself again. I know it's all messages that I need to really pull myself together because you don't know how much more time you have on the planet. You have
Well,
not done what you came to the earth to do. And I guess too, because of how many family members passed this year, and in listening to their eulogies and so on, I'm like, they did all that? Really?
mm.
When did they do all that? I haven't done anything. And I guess because I have focused so much on work is the reason why I realize you haven't done anything. You
But
haven't
that's
done
what,
it.
yeah,
It's
that's what
not true.
everybody does.
Right.
That's what everybody does, and that's what society trains us to do, to be self-sacrificing.
but I can no longer do that.
No,
And so I have some, call it plans, if you will, to just write. Made it. I don't. Don't think I want anybody coming into my room after I start writing all over the things that that I know will show up in my life in 2026. It will be one of the greatest years of my
you
life. How
gotta
do I know
claim
that?
it. You gotta claim it.
I already know it because of the low point that I was at, even up to yesterday. I know it. I'm like, I want to show you. It was almost as though God said, I want to show you some things.
Mm,
I'll show you some things about you
hmm. You
and
have any
realize you
questions,
have another good
Patricia?
life. No,
You have
I
any?
don't. I don't have any questions. Only because it just this call focused on the things that I've been thinking about for the last week or so.
Hmm.
So now I know what I must do in order to get to that point.
Well, I want everybody to commit to yourself, not to me, not to anyone else. Commit to yourself that next year is going to be the best year of your life. Just by committing to that, you will be surprised at how many things will start to unfold if you are really serious about it. So if nobody else has any questions or anything, anybody before we close? No? Okay, well, schedule your call. You're welcome, everybody. Schedule your call. I look forward to meeting with you all. And if I don't talk to you, have an amazing holiday. And I'm going to be doing these. Patricia knows, I used to do them pretty regularly. So I'm getting back. I'm at least going to be doing it monthly now. You're welcome, everybody. And I will see
Thank
you
you. Thank you.
on
Thank
these
you.
internet streets.
All right. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
You.
you.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye bye.